Hey guys, this is just a quick reminder to all you hardcore atheists and skeptics out there who are worried about your sons and daughters, nieces and nephews, and random children you happen to see at the mall this time of year. It's okay to lie to your kids about Christmas. I know that many of you out there have ended up scarred and embittered because your parents lied to you about Santa, but I assure you that most kids turn out just fine. In fact, there's been research done on this showing that the vast majority of children don't think it's a big deal once they figure out that Santa is just a big fat lie. In fact, there's been a lot of research showing that kids at that age are working on their bullshit detectors, and the Santa myth is a great testing ground to figure out what's true from what's false. Years ago, psychologists conducted one of my favorite studies on lying to children. And yes, I do have several favorite studies about lying to children. The researchers told a group of kids about the candy witch, which was a phenomenon that they made up. They said that every Halloween, if you put candy under your pillow, the candy witch will come by and replace the candy with a small toy. And they tested whether or not the kids really believed in the candy witch. For half the kids, they had the parents actually participate and pretend to be the candy witch and swap out their candy for a toy. And for the other half, they didn't do anything. And what they found was really interesting. For really little kids, like 3 or 4 years old, they either believed in the candy witch or they didn't. And it didn't really matter whether or not the parents participated. But for the older kids, like 5 years old, they were much, much, much more likely to believe in the candy witch if their parents participated. What that means is that kids aren't just blindly believing in things. They are looking at evidence around that age, around the age of 5 or 6. That's part of their bullshit detector. Is there evidence that this thing exists? If there is, they believe in it. And if there's not, they don't believe in it. And that's why I think it's important to remember that kids aren't stupid. So they believe in Santa not because they're gullible, but because there's loads of evidence telling them that Santa is real. Like they see him at the mall, they sit on his lap, they ask for a present, and then they get that very present. So all of these are data points feeding into their bullshit detector that makes them think, oh, well, this must be real then. What's the one thing they're missing from their bullshit detector that could tell them that Santa is fake? It's the fact that adults are assholes who will sometimes lie to you. And that's such an important part of the bullshit detector. And I think that kids who figure that out with the Santa myth will go on to apply that to other things. Like for many of us atheists, we next went on to saying, well, what about that Jesus fellow? Maybe all the adults in my life are making that up too, whether they know it or not. And I think if you don't build in the adults might be lying to you part of your bullshit detector, you might go on to, be a Scientologist. I mean, they've got to be getting new recruits somewhere. So this holiday season, please remember to lie to children. It's not just fun, it's also a learning experience. Merry Christmas, everyone.